Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to Nip Gaming TV. My name is Kyanite. Alongside me today over the interwebs is Hoss, all the way from America.
Yep. Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Louisiana, boy.
Yep.
How's the weather in Louisiana?
Right.
Is that how they speak over there?
No, not really.
No.
Like,
Is it
LSU's a massive uni. Like, you get people from all over the place.
Fair enough.
But, yeah, like, as I said to you in PM, the only ever word that you'll ever hear me say will be y'all. Because that word is said at least once in every sentence.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you liking America? You preferring it to Europe, or...?
I mean, so, someone asked me the other day, like, do I feel like I'm in a foreign country?
Yeah.
And I answered with no. Because I feel like the main cultural barrier that really makes you feel like you're somewhere else is language.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, driving on the wrong side of the road I can get used to, you know? Like, it's language and the fact that I can't walk anywhere. Like, if you want to go somewhere in America, you have to have a car. Like, everything is so spread out, it's horrible. Unless you're in, like, NY or somewhere.
Fair enough. I'd like to go to New York sometime.
So would I.
Yeah. I guess New York is just sort of that place, like, it doesn't matter, like, whether if you watch Suits or if you watch Friends, you know, like, so many different sitcoms and
It's
TV
iconic.
shows. Exactly, yeah, based in New York, and it's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to live
I have
there.
a list of places I want to go while I'm out here, but it's going to cost a ton of money.
I mean, it's alright when I'm a millionaire, mate, and I've got my own
Yeah,
penthouse
yeah.
suite
Yeah.
in New York. At the moment, I'm busy designing it on GTA 5.
Yeah?
But after
yeah, cool.
I've finished designing it on GTA 5 and I become a millionaire,
Nice.
yeah, I'll buy you one. I'll let you
Yeah.
pre-design yours on GTA 5 as well.
Sick. But no, like, I'd love to go to Vegas, you know, gamble real money instead of skins.
Yeah, you're a big fan of casino stuff.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, online gambling here, like, online poker is illegal in every state but Vegas and one other, I think, which is annoying.
Okay.
Any online gambling in the state of Louisiana is illegal, which is also annoying.
Does that include
I wanna go to
CS:GO
Vegas.
skins?
So, you know DraftKings?
Yeah, yeah, I heard about
The
them.
website DraftKings? DraftKings has been banned in Louisiana for quite some time. I
Okay.
guess I can still use, like, Lounge and Skin Arena and so on, and... Yep, I was just making sure you didn't have any skin sponsors. GOCL. But, yeah, I mean, I guess I can, because a law hasn't been passed yet, state law. But hey-ho.
But it's still online gambling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a tough one. But anyways,
Yeah.
here we
Federal
go.
law.
Map numero 3.
Tres.
Tres.
Porque es muy importante para los equipos... No, porque es muy importante por los equipos para ganar el mapa, ¿sí?
Si, senor.
Okay.
And Dent. I think that's the third knife round they've won now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dignitas. This new lineup, they're not having the best of luck on their knife rounds, and I do honestly feel like losing the knife round was something that came back to haunt them on train. They ended up starting off on that less favoured T side, and it took them quite a long time to warm up. But again, I still feel like with Dend winning train 16-14, if Dignitas hadn't thrown away at least 2 rounds when they were on the terrorist side, when they came up against an anti-eco, their opponents, then
Yeah.
that 16-14 would have been in their favour. So they're going to be kicking themselves now that they've even allowed this to go to this third map. And if they go on to lose this, then I think they'll be very, very disappointed.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, when you've come so close to even just overtime, like 15-14, you have the momentum on your side. That is your round to win. And to lose it, it's one of the most painful ways to actually lose a game. So let's hope we don't see a repeat of that here. As Dignitas are starting off on the T side.
Tums taking a peek towards mid. That's where the doors are. But it does seem like Most of the Dignitas men are going to be dropping down. Skyfall. Benji gets a headshot. Config returns with a kill of his own, but little does he realise that Twist is also hiding. Twist gets a headshot, so does Dums. And now Kirby and Zonic, in a blink of an eye, find themselves in a 4 versus 2, and they're going to get hunted down.
And now it's just Kirby left, and he's out exposed in the open. They're just rattling off USP shots, trying to connect with him. Easy as that. Den picking up the first round.
Robin ending that round in style, I guess. There we go. Solid stuff from Dent. Obviously, when Cobblestone first sort of came out, it was considered by many, well, not just considered by many, it was a very CT-sided map. They took it away again, they made some changes to it, and now I've even had some people try and argue that they think, in their opinion, that nowadays it could even be a team map, you know, if you've got the right team with the right approach on it. So Dignitas won't be too disappointed yet, but Dent, they've got to use this firepower they have to capitalise. Kirby thinks otherwise, and so does Config. Kirby coming in with his second kill with that Tech-9. Bomb will get planted, and before you know it, Dignitas are out on the B bomb site. MSL will just about find a kill. No, he won't, but still a very, very long way back into this round for Dent, especially if Kirby gets his third, which he does. Dignitas salvaging that round from the brink of death, and the tables have turned.
Yeah, they certainly have one round apiece now, as Config picking up that AK-47 has put Den in a rather awkward position here. They've got some weapons here, they've actually forced it up. 5.7s, Swag 7. See what they can do, how they can defend this, but it looks like Dignitas, they're going for the age-old strat of just rush B.
So they're pushing this B-bomb site thick and fast with the AKs on their side, bombarding the Den players. And Twist gets a kill. Doesn't have to pick up a rifle at that distance, realistically deal more damage. And Kirby will blow him away to smithereens. 2-1. Dignitas comfortably just about winning that round. Even though they lost 3 players, they can still afford to buy up. MSL's opted to go for the Mac 10 because he'll know now that Dend will most likely have no armor. So if he can get a kill or 2 with this Mac 10, he'll obviously earn more money than what he would do if he got a kill with an AK-47, for example. Plus, if he ends up dying with the Mac 10, he'll only be giving away a Mac 10 rather than handing over an AK-47 to the Den players. But anyways, Pop Flash going into mid. Let's see what Dignitas have in mind.
Yeah, they're just hanging around for the time being. Just to summarise exactly what you said, the risk and reward for a Mac 10 in this situation is insanely high for Dignitas, as the AK is going to pick up 1 kill. And there it is, MSL, he's gone down, but what did he lose? A Mac 10. Is Twist really going to do too much with that? Probably not, because it means he has to get close to someone to really do some damage, and they just won't allow that, as Twist did then get dropped. It's just the USP and the Deagle left. Zend has found himself an AK-47. This is where things could get a little bit more dangerous.
Just looking to slow it down. Matensky quickly speeds ups the tempo, gets a headshot straight onto Zender. Kirby will wrap around and finish off Robin. And there we go. 2-round barrier between the two sides. Dignitas at 3-1 now. Dend finally with a bit of money to spend. And it's going to be Benji going for the AWP. Be very interesting to see what kind of approach Dend up to go for setup-wise this round.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to go 2 players aggressive towards this mid and side area. Benji! That's a nice frag to start things off onto MSL, really stopping any momentum Dignitas were gaining in their tracks right there, as they do still have 3 players towards this A side of the map. The HE will go in, but it won't actually connect with too much. Dums might have just spotted the player advancing towards him, as Tensky will now join his teammate in this situation. The flashbang does go up as Dums is looking to peek, and they could line up for him. He gets one, then got dropped by Tensky, but now sees they need to be careful as they do start to approach this A site. 3 versus 4.
Here we go. Benji falling back into a slightly more passive position. Dignitas not dedicating anywhere just yet. They know they're a man down, that the next kill will be crucial. If it goes in their favour, then they could very well manage to turn this round around, and it does. Sonic goes in towards Skyfall, gets the kill onto Twist. Kirby will now push the back of this bomb site, but he's got to clear out this little hut area, otherwise Robin will make him pay the price. Robin gets one, Robin gets two, and Zender on the rotation gets a kill as well. And just to confirm, guys, we are not dropping any frames. Any lag is on Twitch's end, and if it continues after the next round, we will try a different Twitch server. In the meantime, you can try a different Twitch server. What you can do is you can put a different country at the start of your URL. So for example, put fr.twitch.tv/nipgamingtv or de.twitch.tv/nipgamingtv or NL.
SE.
Exactly, change it around and hopefully that will fix a problem for you.
But in the time being, Twist, he's going to get backed up by Robin to secure the third. Kirby and Config now, last two men standing, turning it into a 2 versus 2. Quick frags in very quick succession. And we've seen these two go big before. Kirby, usually the lurker. Config, he's had his moment specifically on Cash, and it's down to him now in a 1 versus 1 up against Benji. Bomb out in the open. He is going to smoke Benji off here. But can he actually do anything here? Benji still with the AWP. Config, the smoke, waiting for it to disappear. Pretty sure he saw his feet. There's the frag. Nice work to finish things off. 4 rounds to 2 in favour of Dignitas.
Yep, solid stuff from Dignitas. And DenD, not much they can do. Again, it's almost a repeat of what was happening on Cash. DenD not really being able to capitalise when they do have the firepower on the CT side, and it really does come back to haunt you, at least until you hit that sort of 5th, 6th round loss in a row on the CT side, and that round loss bonus just about mounts up as enough for you to be able to do something productive with it. But in general, Dignitas looking to stick around as a unit, sticking together as a team, watching each other's backs in case one of their players does go down with one of these weapons. They'll ensure by sticking together there's always someone to trade the kill and prevent the CT from picking a weapon up.
Yeah, exactly right. As now you're going to see them try and spray on in here, but not much will indeed come from it. Config will find the frag onto Zen. 3 players left. I'm not even going to comment on a P90, it just did exactly what it's meant to do. And there it is, Robin will fall as well, 5 rounds to 2.
Once again, guys, if you're experiencing lag, some of you will be experiencing lag because you'll be on a Twitch server that's currently being overloaded. It's not from our end. So in order to change that, you have to change the Twitch server on which you're streaming this from, and you can do that by adding fr.twitch.tv/nipgamingtv to your URL, or NL, or DE,
SE,
yeah,
Sweden,
or US maybe. Just try different servers until you get one that doesn't lag. But anyways, Dignitas, a lot of men towards this A long area, only one person towards B just to occupy the CTs. But with only 2 CTs over towards A, you can't help but feel that if Dignitas can get 1 kill here, if they up the tempo a little bit, push 4 players towards this A bomb site, they should be able to outnumber and overpower the Lone Ranger over towards the A bomb site by himself and get a bomb plant down.
Yeah, it is certainly an option for them to consider here, as we're seeing MSL open things up. Dums is here, he'll get taken down. That was a great showing of the aim punch there. P90 shot to the head meant that Dums had no idea of where he was going to be aiming. Twist, though, does take out MSL. Robin playing Ring of Roses with Zonic here. Looks like he will come out on top, but his teammate did suffer a fatal casualty. 3 versus 2, post-plant situation. Can the CTs do much? Well, when I say CTs, I now mean just Robin. He's found himself an M4. He has armor. Looks like he's going to go for the save.
Yeah, Twist sort of just about wandered in all by himself, and right decision from Robin to hold on to this M4. Question is, are any of the Dignitas boys going to come his way? Is he going to be able to maybe exit frag them? Doesn't seem so. They know that he ran away towards that bomb site, and all the Dignitas players will remain intact as they rack up their 6th round.
Yeah, it's now 6 rounds to 2, and it's putting DenD now on towards this eco round. There's not really much they can do in this situation apart from hope. Hope that they can pick up some kills. They have gone for some P250s, just get a little bit extra firepower on their arsenal. It looks like they're gonna go for the cheeky old boost maybe. Or it seems like it might have been a little bit delayed in that drop down area, but they have successfully boosted Robin up on screen. He's probably the man you want boosted up in that area as well.
Smoke going down towards CT spawn. There's Config needs to charge as we saw him do on Cash. He nails Twist out in the face as Tensky 2 gets a Vaccarino style kill through the smoke onto Dums. And we were aware that there wasn't really going to be much that Den would have been able to do on this round, but if they can get maybe at least one more kill, maybe even nick one of these AK-47s, then it'll at least be somewhat of a productive round for them. Robin, his main aim now will just be to try and hold on to his M4.
Yeah, and it looks like he should indeed succeed in that. He is miles away from civilization right now. Although it looks like he may in fact bump in towards... yeah, Config. Config finds 2. Easy frags. And that was the key. All he had to do was keep the M4 alive. Didn't succeed in doing so. Means that he has to waste a lot of money in this round. Whereas his teammates could have had some nades. Like a few more nades. He could have essentially dropped an AWP for Twist if he remained with his M4. And Twist would have had a full set, but I guess it's only a few. We'll have to see whether it will be truly detrimental or not. Because now, going into this gun round, we haven't really had a proper gun round in a while, but Dignitas are just going to go for the classic rush towards B. Zonic started to poke his head out, but then gets absolutely destroyed by that grenade.
He does, and that's a solid start now for Dend. It hopefully gives them a foundation on which they can build, especially if they can get one more kill, but no, MSL gets one, makes it a double as Config 2 gets a headshot of his own. Bomb will get planted over towards B where Robin is lurking around, but he needs at least one more kill before Twist can really meddle with this bomb site with his AWP. It makes him lack so much versatility, but despite that, Robin still gets a kill. Tensky will fire right back at him, and now the retake is on.
But with not much time left, it's 2 versus 1. Robin, last man standing, he has the AK in his hand. They just need to tickle him. Tensky will succeed in doing so. Those last 2 frags for the Dignitas player were crucial in grabbing themselves the round. 8 rounds to 2, and then they could force it up here, but it's highly ill-advised, but they're going to go for it regardless.
Well, it's no surprise really. They're on this CT side. They pretty much, by losing that last round and giving Dignitas 8, guaranteed that they can't win the half, which is disappointing. But for me, again, they need to go into the second half with at least 5 or 6 rounds and then win their T-pistol. Failing to do that, and I think they're going to have a very, very steep hill for themselves to climb. Dignitas putting most of their men towards the A side of the map. Config waiting patiently towards mid, and if MSL can find an entry here, then it could very well end up being Dignitas' bomb site. It's been far too easy for them.
It really has. 2 quick frags there for MSL. Kiabi's going to come on the board with another one, make that 2 for him, and now it's just Dums left. He literally can't do anything in a 1 versus 4. How can he get in towards this site? Either through door, which is now smoked out, or through balcony, or this little archway here, which Dignitas have just absolutely swamped. They also have the player in Zonic, who's kind of lurking behind Dums right now as they look to chase this man down.
Yeah, I mean, for me the problem is that Den's defense is just far too laid back and far too passive, that they're allowing Dignitas to get into the positions that they need to be within to get very close towards the bomb sites and be in a position where they can execute towards the bomb sites. And for example, that A bomb site that they broke into this round, they crept up A long, they got in a position where they could smoke off CT spawn. Den were very unlucky by the fact they only really had MSL on the bomb site, playing up close towards long, behind the corner, 1 person towards mid. But the second that MSL had crept up that close and got the kill onto the guy playing at long, it was an easy kill onto the guy at mid, and before you know it, CT spawn is smoked, the 3 CTs trying to rotate over from B pretty much can't, and the bomb's gone down on the complete opposite bomb site. There's not much the CTs can do, as well as the fact they find themselves completely outnumbered. But Zender on Twist with pistols somehow managed to get 2 kills. Config will just about manage to get revenge to turn it into a 3-on-3. but it makes you wonder, are we going to see a repeat of what we saw on Train?
I mean, it's certainly an option here, but right now we still have Dignitas with this firepower in their hands, and there's nothing that DenD can really do about this. Again, they're just smoked off. They give up both of these sites way too easily. I feel like the only resistance we've seen from DenD is when they play tucked in on the sites. Like, for example, when Twist was hiding at the hut on B site and was able to get 2 frags just because it was unsuspected. Like, if they were to pick up positions like that, I mean, yes, they've won this round, but if they were to pick up positions like at the back of sites, holding angles rather than just being at the forefront, trying to get the early picks to stop the initial rush, then they wouldn't even be allowing these bomb plants. They'd have much more control in these rounds, and they'd waste a lot more of the T utilities, those nades that they have, a lot earlier on in the round.
Yeah, I agree, but unfortunately DenD just haven't been able to, you know, play that dynamic defense and dynamically adapt to how their opponents are played. But now they do have a bit of cannons to work with, especially that big green cannon in the hands of Twist, but they tried to counter boost on Skyfall and MSL was more than ready for it. Headshot onto Zender.
Yeah, and well, right now we're going to see Zonic. Actually, his molly didn't land, but Robin's shot certainly will. MSL looking to drop down here, get some damage done. But in fact, he will just duck and dive away from the AWP shot. Nice pick onto Twist. Now Config's going to have a friend come his way. You do not want to rush through smoke. In fact, he's going to potentially get one more. Tried spraying for the second. Didn't get any damage done, but Kirby will get the bomb plant on this A site. Completely open. Once again, Robin in a 1 versus 3. It's on for the ace. Not going to happen. 10 rounds to 3.
Yeah, Config really does have a phenomenal AK spray, and we've seen him utilise it a lot within this best of 3. It's a joy to watch, it really is. And like I said earlier on, DenD for me need at least 5 rounds going into the second half, and then they need to win their second half pistol. Not looking great for them at the moment. They've surely got 3 players with rifles, but they've also got 2 players with only pistols. Twist with Desert Eagle and Benji with the 5.7. So fingers crossed for them, but I'm not too sure whether they're going to be able to even win this one unless a miracle happens, because they've looked incredibly poor here on the CT side of Cobblestone. They've been losing all their individual battles, and particularly on the CT side, they've from time to time peeking at times they don't really need to. But that was a very nice calculated peek. Great use of the pop flash from Zender, and he reaps the rewards.
Yeah, he certainly does, and it's put Dignitas in a bit of position where we're starting to see them go back to more of a slow approach as this round progresses. We see Kirby just sneaking on in as Twist did drop Tensky. Kirby is there to get the return. If only he'd shown himself a little bit sooner, he may have in fact stopped his teammate from dying, but now it is all on this Dignitas player in a 1 versus 4 with the bomb out of his control.
So all alone. Now the Dignitas youngster, he gets a kill onto Benji, but whilst doing that gets a second, and Zender's so low on HP here that if Kirby can miraculously turn this into 1 versus 1, then God knows what might happen. He's making his way back towards this bomb. That flash will go out, but Zender is ready and waiting, and will spray down his prey to rack up round number 4 on the board for DenD. So now we'll be going into this last round of the first half. Both teams will have a decent arsenal of weaponry with which they can use, so hopefully it's going to be a good one. Yeah,
it is indeed the last round of the half, as Dignitas look like they're going to go towards the A portion of the map once again here. MSL, he's going to push in through this smoke, did get hit by the nade, sprays on through, makes his presence known. As we're actually seeing DenD potentially rotate a few of their members across here as Config is going to start to push through. Benji is there. So 1-for-1 trade in that mid area as now Zen going to flash over. It will allow him to peek. Double flash, in fact, giving him a little bit more time to actually push on in as the T's haven't actually made their way on towards the bulk of the site yet. MSL is going to barbecue Twist as Robin goes down. Just Dums and Zen left in this final round of the half. In a 4 versus 2, Dums will find one. try and even out the numbers, as they are now exactly even. 2 versus 2, 2 versus 1. Is this retake on? It's all on Zonic.
It is Zonic who is the stand-in, ironically, for Dignitas, but let's see whether he can work his magic and make it work. He anticipates Zender coming from the left, and really both DenDD players should have pushed him together. Zonic will clutch, and DenDD, they have themselves to blame. Why they pushed him one by one, I do not know. Counter-Strike fundamentals, Counter-Strike 101, they got it wrong, and that could have very well cost them this quarter-final.
Oh, it really could have done. It really, really could have done. It was such good play from them to eliminate the other 3 members. And then when the easy task came, they just fell. They just fell short.
Here we go. Twist. Slowly making his way up long as he manages to rip off the face of Config. Kirby gets one but has to reload, and now DenDD are going to swarm in towards this B bomb site. Zonic is ready away at the man who clutched in the last round. Manages to get 1 kill. Can he make it 2? He just about can. And MSL's going to chime in with one of his own. And with this bomb down on the ground, Hoss, MSL could even win this.
Oh, they just try and trade some shots back and forth, but it's all on MSL, and he has no need to peek right now. There's only one way that Benji can actually get up on... I mean, why?
I don't know.
MSL had no need to take any trade there. There was only one way that Benji could actually get up onto there in sufficient amount of time. If it had taken him longer, then yes, MSL could have repositioned and maybe just tried to get some intel. But there was no need to take a firefight there. No need.
I know, and in all honesty, we think back to Train. The main reason Dignitas lost that map was just because they kept making stupid mistakes like that.
Yeah.
And Dignitas, they could have probably put this map to bed at least if MSL hadn't, you know, taken that unneeded, unnecessary gamble. But hey ho, if they want to get complacent, fingers crossed it doesn't come to bite him in the backside. Zender is going in search of his first kill for this round at least, but he's got to be careful with this AK-47. Sure he doesn't lose it. But Den taking things slow. But what they don't realise is that they've allowed MSL to sneak out along, and he manages to get a kill. That's an AK wasted down on the ground.
Yeah, it certainly is, but can Dignitas try and recover that? That is the question here. They do have this Mag 7 as their primary firepower. They could certainly do a little bit more damage here, especially if you look at Robin. Yes, he only has a Mag 10, but 15 HP, you'll take a Mag 10 and a kill over nothing. They start to creep on. What's this B-site? Kirby with the flank! That's going to be a quick 1-2. 2 AKs down now on the floor, plus the Mag 10 of Robin. And a severely weakened T-side.
Benji all on his own for the Swedish side with a Danish flag because they want to be different. And Zonic gets the Swag 7 kill through the smoke. And Dignitas salvage that round after losing a pistol round that they really shouldn't have. Now they've also got these 2 AK-47s. And they've also got opponents who are financially broke. But regardless,
yeah,
they've opted to force things up, and I understand why. I think it's the right decision.
Yeah, they are on this double eco, so they kind of have to get something going their way, and they believe Tech-9's plus armor is how they're going to do it. But we still have this Mag 7 on Zonic, and it's just going to be about building bank for him, because it's, what, $900 per kill? He got one of them last round. Could potentially get more here, and he's going to become the bank of Dignitas, especially with those 2 AKs. It's a very, very dangerous CT side we have.
He knows that the T's are nearby. Oh, just about managed to bite off a little bit more than he could chew. And it makes you wonder whether he'd, you know, continue pushing through that smoke if it wasn't for that Tech-9 hitting him and putting him down 60 HP. But instead, these Tech-9s go absolutely massive over towards the A bomb site. Bada bing, bada boom. It's open, it's clear, it's penetrated, and then now have an opportunity to plant the bomb.
There it is though, Zonic, he will pick himself up an MP7, he's gained himself some extra cash, and now in the 1 versus 3, what can he do? Nothing is the answer there. Just nothing.
Dignitas, Dignitas, Dignitas. They've got to stop being careful. They're throwing away a lot of rounds that they really shouldn't. Particularly up against a team, no offense to their opponents, but up against what's really more of a mixed team, you know, in their opponents. So, not really mistakes they should be doing. Especially when you consider the expectations that come with this Team Dignitas side.
That's a good way to start things off there from Zonic. The silver lining, to say the least, for the time being. But it's about whether they can extend that to a win, as config will fall. Zonic, he needs to be a rock right now though. With this M4 in hand, he will do a lot of damage, tries to reface, will get taken down, but he did enough damage onto Dumzen's end to secure themselves some more frags. Robin very low as well. Zend will fall. 27 on Robin, 100 on Benji. Make that nothing on Robin. Been a little bit reckless from him, and that's going to be a retake coming in from Dignitas on the eco. Good stuff coming out from them. 13 rounds to 6. Looking like they can certainly turn this one into a 2-1 win overall.
Oh god, it's just back and forth, isn't it? Dignitas win an eco. I mean, Dignitas lose an anti-eco. And then they end up winning an eco the round after it. It's their opponents who then end up losing an anti-eco. It's ridiculous, but despite that, we still find ourselves now in a situation, especially Den, thanks to that bomb plant, where both teams have a relative amount of firepower in their arsenal. And still, this round could still go, you know, in either direction. Dignitas, 3 more rounds is what they need to win the game. The score being 1-1 in this best of 3. But Den, I'm sure they won't give up just yet. They've shown time after time again, they've got a lot of character in this lineup and a lot of individual quality.
Yeah, they certainly do, but it's going to be a massive uphill struggle for Den if they want to get anything from this game now, as it looks like we're going to be one step closer for Dignitas taking this series as their opponents just fall to their mercy. Benji, last man standing, is able to get the headshot onto Config. But they know exactly where he is. There it is. Goes down. 1 round away from securing overtime at the least. 2 rounds from taking it.
Sure. Dent, they're forcing. Can I blame them? Not really. But again, this is a kind of situation that makes me wonder whether the fat lady really well and truly has sung. But still, going into this best of 3, you know, before we went live, we were sort of discussing what we thought the score would be, and I remember mentioning to you that I thought it was going to be a quick 2-0 to Dignitas. So, credit where it's due to Den for at least getting trained, you know, of all maps, not even the map that they picked on the board for themselves. But who knows whether Den can still win this round. It worked from last time around with this Tech-9 push. Maybe they'll be able to do it again.
Yeah, you never actually know. Anything could happen. That is what is brilliant about Counter-Strike. As it's all gone quiet, these Tech-9s really need to do some work here. And work is exactly what Robin's one is going to do. Picks himself up an M4, only taking a little bit of damage there as well. It's now down to the rest of the team, as Kirby will also fall. MSL trying to get a return frag here, will be successful, looking for the second onto Robin, but it won't come in just yet. He will smoke the doorway, trying to get behind MSL, and he will be successful in that one. 2 versus 4. Dignitas, they need to hold.
They do. Tensky gets the headshot onto Zender. Twist, I do believe he knows he's just about there, and he will get the kill. And here we go. Again, same old story. The team with, well, the team who you don't expect to win the round somehow managed to overpower their opponents and win the round. Config though, here's these DenDD players going towards mid. Unfortunately did not anticipate one more player being there, and Duns will just about manage to finish him off. 14-7 now the score, and well, this is back and forth Counter-Strike to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it sums it up perfectly. Like, if you just open up the scoreboard and have a look at how this half has gone, it's just crazy. Like, no team has been able to get any momentum going, and this style of situation actually favors Team Dignitas because they're so much closer. They're allowed to keep going back and forth because if it progresses this way, they hit that magic number 16 first and take the series. Then they're the ones in trouble because they need to get this momentum going. They need to win a good number of rounds in a row. And it looks like they're about to secure a second win in a row here.
Config all on his own. Gets a Deagle headshot. Still has 4 more hungry opponents looking to terrorise him and hunt him down. I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time until their paths cross. So Benji.
Looks like it's going to be Benji.
There we go.
Easy pickings there to finish things off.
So MSL now opting to go for the AWP. Of course, prior to the roster changes in Dignitas, we saw Pimp pick up the AWP a lot, which was interesting because historically and in CSGO, you know, you don't really associate Pimp with the AWP, but I think he was putting a pretty good shift in towards the end, at least before the roster changes. But that to one side, Robin gets a kill with the AK through the smoke.
Yeah, it's an interesting pickup here. I mean, if it hasn't been working with a full rifle setup, then and you have the funds to get an AWP, then you may as well, as Tensky's going to find one frag there onto Dums to even things up. Nice bit of aggression from him there. As MSL, he's going to position himself in a great position here, and he's going to be rewarded with one pick straight away. But the fact they've allowed one of the players to drop on down, Benji is able to get a return. MSL with a second, Robin, MSL with a 4th in total. Hey, what a surprise AWP can do. Match point now, 15-8 to Dignitas, and not just match point, but series point.
Do you think this is it? Do you think it's all over? Or do you reckon...
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. Think it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well. well. Let's see whether that is going to be the case. Mag 7 coming out from Config. As the bomb makes its way towards this B bomb site. One more round is all that Team Dignitas need to storm into the semi-finals, but Twist has not given up yet, nor has Dums. So he gets a kill and gets his second. Twist will make it 2 as well. And now Config in a 1 versus 4 with this Mag 7. It looks like Den will live to fight another day, and they do.
For the time being, but how long? It's almost a matter of time until Dignitas win this one. I mean, recall one map back when sides were swapped. Dignitas fought back to 14 and then lost it 16-14. I mean, we could have that here. The margin for error of DenD right now is so small. Like, once Dignitas get a momentum, or get an economy going, I should say, get the ability to buy, that's when they become severely dangerous. Or Tensky can just be dangerous with a 5-7 and trade out 1 for 1.
Zender lands a headshot straight to the helmet of Tensky. Twist gets 1 as well. Robin 2 will continue to deal the damage that he's done throughout this entire game. I wonder how many kills he was on 23 here, and he was, I believe he was 30 bombing on train as well.
Yeah, he's 30. So, I know he's 30 bombed on train, yeah.
So great performances coming out from him. And now Dignitas, they're on the back foot financially. DenD with a chance to make this 15-11. They're starting to build a bit of momentum here, even though Dignitas only need 1 more round. But that's the thing, when you find yourself in this kind of situation, sometimes that last push, that last round, more than often is the most difficult one to get.
Yeah, it's not looking exactly shining here for Dignitas, as they are, as you said, struggling to find their 16th and final round. But they have been on 2 weak buys, to say the least. How much money do they have in the bank? They're going to get 2.4? Yeah, 2.4k for losing that one. which puts them in buy territory.
There we go. Could be the fat lady singing as GoTV. Skips, but let's keep the faith. Let's keep the faith for Dent. They've done well to bring things back to this point, particularly with them now being on the terrorist side. Twist is going to flash down towards mid, and he 100% knows that there's going to be an opponent nearby after hearing him rattle him off with that M4A4, and he just about manages to slaughter him. Headshot with the AK-47. There's still a lot of Counter-Strike to be played within this round. 1 minute left on the clock.
1 minute left, indeed. As DenDD taking this one slowly, the Molotov goes in towards the back, making sure no one's there. And Robin doesn't see anyone, so they know that area is clear. However, there are 3 players towards this B side of the map for Dignitas. And this isn't looking too great for DenDD, it has to be said. With such little time left and such resistance on the map, Twist going down now. Benji panicking a little bit there. You saw it in his scope and in his aim, missing yet another shot. It's gonna be just Robin left now, last man standing. Dignitas take the series 2 maps to 1 and finalize this map on Cobble 16-11.
Most certainly do. It wasn't easy for Team Dignitas, I'll give them that, but in the end, they just about had enough commitment and had enough quality in their side to pull it out the bag. And this is the thing, Hoss, if it wasn't for small mistakes, like the mistakes we saw on Train, and some of the mistakes we saw on Cobblestone, Dignitas could have been over and done with this best of 3 probably an hour ago. But again, I guess we've got to look on the bright side for them, because they did have a stand-in, and they have made some roster changes. So, in theory, they've still got a lot of time to fix those small changes, because there are only small errors that can be easily fixed just by re-reviewing the demo, for example.
Yeah, definitely so, but I think we can both agree that Dignitas deserved to win that one. Overall, they should have won it in 2, but ended up winning it in 3, and congratulations to them, and good luck in the rest of the GOCL tournament.
100%. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it from myself and Hoss. You can follow me on Twitter, it's at Kyanite, Kyan1TE, and Hoss at Hosselot, HOSSELOTE. And go show some love to GOCL, GOCL.gg is their URL, go check out their website, go follow them on social media as well. On Twitter it's /GoChampions, Facebook it's /GoChampions2, and go show some love to our awesome sponsors. G2A.com for some awesome CD keys, egamingbets.com for all your betting needs. You know, if you're out of skins to bet, go bet some real life money instead. Show some love to Twitch as well. You could do so by subbing to this channel or just by following the channel. Every little helps. And of course, Steel Series, who have a brand new mouse on the market. It's called the Rival 300. It's awesome. Go check them out. steelseries.com/rival. That's been it from me. It's been it from Hoss. Hoss, do you have any final words for the night?
Not really. It's just been a pleasure casting with you once again, and I look